outcome you once believed belonged only to the lucky, the connected, or the chosen few becomes something you produce, deliberately, predictably, lawfully. Not someday, not when things get better, but within 12 months. Most people will never believe this is possible. They will hear the words and immediately shrink back into their old thinking. They will say, "That sounds unrealistic." They will whisper, "That could never be me." And that is why most people will live their entire life earning in decades what could have been earned in a single year. Let me ask you something not rhetorical, but piercing. If your life depended on creating more money in the next 12 months than you have ever earned before, would you rise to the challenge or surrender to the same doubts that have held you down for years? Your answer reveals everything about whether your future expands or collapses. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to confront you with a truth you have ignored. Your earning power is not fixed. It is undeveloped. The income you have now is not your ceiling. It is your reflection. It reflects your habits, your beliefs, your decisions, your definiteness, your use of time, your willingness to take command of your mind instead of letting circumstance govern you. If you change nothing, the next year of your life will look identical to the last. If you change everything, the next 12 months can become the most profitable, most accelerated, most transformative financial period you have ever lived. But you must make a decision. Will you allow the next year to repeat the past, or will you rewrite it? Think about this. There are men who accomplish more financially in a single year than their fathers earned in a lifetime. Men who rise from obscurity into influence with such speed that the world blames luck. Men who start with nothing yet create fortunes faster than those who had every advantage. This is not magic. It is not accident. It is not coincidence. It is law. Most people think wealth grows slowly. They think income must climb in small, safe increments. They think prosperity is built in decades. But the truth is far more electrifying. Wealth expands explosively when your mind becomes definite, when your habits align with purpose, when your thinking is ruled by intention instead of drift. Allow me to expose the root cause of most financial struggle. It is not lack of opportunity. It is lack of direction. A drifting mind cannot produce a definite income. A vague desire cannot create a precise result. Wealth must be commanded, not wished for. It must be pursued with discipline, not daydreamed with hope. But here is the secret no one told you. You do not need 5 years, 10 years, or a lifetime to change your finances. You need 12 months of obsession, 12 months of disciplined intention, 12 months of structured thinking, 12 months of eliminating what weakens you and multiplying what strengthens you. That is all. 12 months of serious effort will accomplish what casual effort cannot achieve in 40 years. But the world is full of men who try hard for a week, then collapse into old habits. That is why they never break through. Wealth is created by those who sustain direction long enough for results to obey them. Let me ask you a question you have avoided. What if the life you want is 1 year of discipline away? What if the income you dream of is not impossible? It is simply unclaimed. What if the opportunity you think you're waiting for is actually waiting for you to become definite enough to seize it? Picture your current financial state. Picture your frustrations, your limitations, your anxieties. Now picture the version of you who has mastered 12 months of focus. That version of you does not fear bills. That version of you does not apologize for wanting more. That version of you is not intimidated by wealth. He commands it. But before I reveal how 1 year can change the next 40, you must understand why most men remain trapped. They underestimate the cost of drift. They underestimate the price of indecision. They underestimate how much wealth they lose. Not by bad choices, but by no choices. Drifting through a year is the most expensive mistake a man can make. And yet, with the right structure, your structure, 12 months can produce results that astonish even you. But that structure requires 3 things before any strategy can help you. You must become definite. You must become disciplined. You must become obsessed with one clear financial aim. Without these, no plan will save you. With them, no obstacle can stop you. Now hear this clearly. The difference between a year of struggle and a year of prosperity is not opportunity. It is identity. The man who earns 10 times more is not 10 times smarter. He is 10 times more directed, 10 times more decisive, 10 times more focused, 10 times more committed to becoming the master of his minutes instead of the servant of his impulses. If you saw the world from his perspective for even one
Grand Rising family, Grand Rising. We're going to get started in literally 1 minute. What I need you guys to do is, as usual, screenshot that you are on this call, send it out to your chats, your community chats, blow up your chat boxes this morning. We're going to get started in literally a minute.
week, you would laugh at the limitations you currently accept. You would feel insulted by the numbers you once believed were good enough. You would realize how small your financial thinking has been and how large your potential actually is. Before this speech is over, I will give you the blueprint for turning the next 12 months into the most profitable year of your life. But I will not give it to you early. You must feel the weight of possibility before you receive the process that unleashes it. Because the blueprint demands seriousness, and only a serious man can handle the results it produces. But let me leave you with this before we begin. Your life is not limited by time. Your life is limited by thought. And when your thought becomes definite, 12 months is not long. 12 months is enough. 12 months can change everything. Now steady your mind. Sharpen your attention. What comes next is the plan that can make the next year of your life richer than all the years before it combined. There comes a time in every man's life when he must face the truth that his financial condition is not a matter of luck, nor chance, nor the economy. It is a mirror. It reflects the quality of his thought, the precision of his decisions, and the definiteness of his faith. The dollars he earns are but the visible measurement of his inner order. Most men resent this truth. They prefer to blame others, to curse the system, to envy fortune. They say, the rich are favored, opportunity is unfair. But truth is indifferent to complaint. The law does not pity the uninformed. It corrects them through experience. Every man.
Grand Rising family, Grand Rising. Right. Let me do all of that fun stuff. All right, cool. Amazing, amazing. How are we all doing, family? How are we all doing? Grand Rising. It is a very cold morning this morning. But welcome, welcome, welcome. How we start off every call, how we start off any call. If you guys can drop some gratitudes in the chat box. What is one thing that you are grateful for? Multiple things that you are grateful for. What are the things that you are grateful for this morning? I am so happy and grateful that I woke up this morning. I am so happy and grateful for my family. I'm so happy and grateful for every single one of you guys. I'm so happy and grateful for experiences, for knowledge. I'm so happy and grateful for day 1 of 90 days, guys. This one feels just a little bit different. It feels a little bit different. I'm really excited for this one. 90-day lock-in, honestly, guys, it's about to be a game changer. I'm so happy and grateful for this weather. This weather definitely does build our immune system. It definitely does contribute to our systems, how we feel, and once we get over the cold feeling, you learn to kind of accept the bliss that comes with it. But if this is your first ever call, guys, welcome. These are calls that we do every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. UK time, and we do not talk about trading. We do not talk about anything of that sort. We talk about personal development, we talk about mindset, we talk about becoming a better version of ourselves, and just having conversations in the development department. So, guys, please do take notes. We do cover a lot of information, and I definitely don't want you guys to just listen to what it is that I'm saying, but I definitely want you to apply this information, especially going into the 90. You're going to need as much mindset as possible. That's one thing that has genuinely helped me through this whole experience, really, is just personally developing and growing. Because if you don't grow as a person, honestly, it's like a flower. If you're not growing, you're dying. So, not to say that you guys are dying, but it's a bit morbid, so I don't want to mention it like that. But just saying. Okay, cool. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have such a strong willpower to stay sober. Honestly, congratulations. That is such a big move, it's such a big step. So I just want to send you lots of love, lots of strength, because it's not easy what you're doing, but definitely such an amazing thing. And once you get over the need, then you're going to be so good. I'm grateful for another day, another blessing. I'm so happy and grateful that I have strength and breath this morning. I'm so happy and grateful for a new day, feeling blessed, feeling motivated, not being afraid. I'm so happy and grateful for the next 90, my children, life, and God. I'm so happy and grateful for my family and ability to have an income. Grateful for the time and effort the mentors given to help us. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm healthy, blessed to be alive, well, I'm ready to move forward with the day, week, and months ahead. Amen. Grand Rising, I'm so happy and grateful for the people God has placed in my life and this new season, 90 days. I'm so happy and grateful for God, for life and family and new opportunities. So happy and grateful for God for the 90 days, this opportunity, and the future success we are all going to receive this year. Amen. I'm happy and grateful for this opportunity and happy to be locked in. I'm so happy and grateful for waking up this morning, for my job, for this opportunity, learning to trade, and for meeting amazing people. I'm so happy and grateful for another day to get better and move forward towards my goals. I'm so happy and grateful for 2026, for God, my family, community of like-minded people. I'm so happy and grateful for my mentors and my team. Amen, amen, amen. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome. Today I wanted to have a conversation with you guys, just to have a conversation with you guys. It's going to be less me kind of talking at you, but more just kind of sharing a perspective. This is a call that we have done a little while, but I know a little while ago, but I know that we've had a lot of new people on the call, on these calls, and this was one of our most popular calls that we had a conversation about. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite things to kind of talk about, because it kind of shares a lot of perspective and a different perspective when it comes to just how we view life, how we view things, how we look at things. So today we're going to be talking about time perception. Okay. And time perception is, we all look at time differently and we all experience time differently. Okay. I want us to understand that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but there are some people that are able to get so much done in those 24 hours and feel calm about it and make steady progress. And then there's other people that feel rushed, they feel overwhelmed, they feel overstimulated, they feel stuck. That word, overstimulation, all of that fun stuff. And I think during this 90 days, there's going to be a lot of people where some people feel rushed, they feel stuck, they feel overwhelmed, but then there's going to be people that are calm, that kind of look at it in different lights. So I really want to share this kind of information that is going to help you kind of look at it a little bit different. Because when it comes to time perception, and when it comes to this 90 days, yes, it's going to be about managing your schedule, managing your priorities, managing your routine and everything like that. But it's also something deeper than that. And I want to dive deep into this, because if you understand this, then it is going to help you be able to get more done in a day without feeling burnt out, without feeling like you're doing too much or you can't keep up, etc. So it's about how your brain perceives time. So how you look at time and how you view time. And time perception is the way that you experience the passing of time. So the way that you experience time. Okay. And it's not like it doesn't have anything to do with clocks, calendars. It's an intentional internal feeling. Okay, it's more of a mental experience. Okay, and when it comes to time perception, we're going to dive deep into how we view time, why it matters, and we can learn ways to experience time to the fullest. Basically, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, what is time perception? Time perception is a psychological and neurological process. Okay, I'm going to try and use simple words because I've been told. I don't know if you guys can hear the crazy dog in the background. I really hope my voice isolation is on right now, but I've got a crazy dog and he loves barking at the bin men every single morning. So he is my alarm. So I hope, right, let me do voice isolation. There we go. So yeah, okay, we can cut him out of the background. Cool. So yes. So when it comes to time, okay, when it comes to how you view time, your brain doesn't measure time like the way a clock does. Okay, it processes time based on your attention, based on your emotions, and based on your focus. So when you're bored or anxious, time feels like it's dragging. Okay. So example, when you're at work, and I remember I used to do this at work, I would realize that I had an hour left of work. And that felt like the longest hour ever. It felt like the longest hour ever. I don't know if you guys can relate, but when you know something's coming up, or even when you're excited about something, it's like it's the longest hour ever. And you feel every second of that hour. And it's not to say that the hour has changed or it's different from any other hour. It just feels a lot slower. It feels a lot longer than if you was busy and if you was in flow state and if you was getting a lot of work done, then that 1 hour would go so quickly. So it's not to say that they're two different hours, it's just how we experience that hour. So when you're bored, it will be a lot slower, but when you're actually like engaged, you're doing things, time seems to kind of fly by. Or even when you're stressed out, your brain responds or reacts differently to where it actually tries to shorten your sense of time, and it makes time feel a lot shorter. Okay, and that's why a lot of people that are stressed out, they're always rushing around because they are stressed out. I want to really say this in simple terms. Because they're really stressed out, their brain looks at time and rushes, and because they're already naturally always in a state of panic, they just rush. They have the same time as everyone else, but they just rush, and it makes time feel shorter. It makes time feel like it's not being experienced fully. And when people are relaxed, let's just say, when people are, relaxed, they are in that calm Zen mode, they allow themselves to experience every moment and to be present. Okay. And that means that time perception is subjective. It is based on how your mind and your body are wired and how you're showing up emotionally. Okay. So why does this matter? And why does Sammy want to talk about it and all of these fun stuff? So why does it actually matter? The experience of time, okay, influences your mindset and behavior. So how you experience time influences your mindset and it influences how you act. If time feels like you don't have a lot of it, or it feels like it's slipping away, you might constantly feel like pressure. You might constantly feel like stressful. You might constantly feel like you're rushing around. You might make poor decisions. Okay. But if time feels like it's slow, or, not much is being done during your time, you might procrastinate. You might lack urgency. You might miss out on opportunities. You might let the world flow past you while you're sitting there and scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and all of these things. How you perceive time and how you look at time affects your motivation. Now, why is this important? During this 90 days, okay, during this 90 days, there's a lot of us that are on a 90-day burst, which means we're going to be fully locked in for 3 months straight, and we're going to give 100% to our goals and fully intentional. The reason why this is important is because how you perceive time is going to be how you actually manage to get things done in the day. When time feels limited, you're more likely to act. Okay, but when time feels like it is out of control, or you feel like you're rushing around and you don't have a lot of time, and you can only squeeze in this minute here and this minute here, and there's so much going on, you feel like you're about to burn out. And when you burn out, you stop. Okay, and time is going to pass by. Time is going to pass by. It's out of our control. But how you experience it is within our control. Okay. And I think time is something that we constantly overlook. Not that we don't appreciate it. We don't appreciate it. Okay, we don't appreciate it. We don't appreciate the time that we're given. Everyone is given the same 24 hours in a day, but someone is able to get more done than the other person. Why is it that majority of people work 8 hours in a day? Okay, they work 8 hours in a day. And let's just say there's person A and there's person B. And person A works 8 hours in a day. They have the same amount of kids, the same responsibilities, yet they walk through life where they have organized their routine, they're flowing, they're not rushing around, they're taking it in, and they're able to get everything done. Where person B has the same responsibilities, the same everything, yet they are rushing around, they're rushing to and from everywhere, they're running around, they're overwhelmed. Why is that? It's the way they're looking at their time. Because person A believes that they have enough time. Person B doesn't believe that they have enough time, resulting in them rushing around and scattering around. And have you even noticed when you rush around, you make more mistakes? You actually take longer to get ready because you are making more mistakes. Whereas if you just take your time and just get everything done, and you're just calm, you're actually able to get more done. Okay, you're actually able to get more done. So why do we look at time differently, and how does this connect to what we do on a daily basis, and how is this even important to our mindset? Mastering your time perception is mastering your mindset. Okay, it's mastering your internal state. It's mastering how you look at the world, because people who manage their how they view time, they tend to have better stress resilience during this 90 days. If you can manage how you view time, and you understand that you have plenty of time, and you don't panic at deadlines, and you just steadily focus, okay, and you maintain the future kind of look at life, then you're going to move with calm. You're going to not be urgent. You're not going to, like run around. Like, obviously urgency is important, but you're not going to be rushing around. You're not going to be panicking. You're not just going to be this flustered, stressed, overwhelmed person. And I think it's quite important to talk about time, because time is one of our most valuable, it's our most valuable asset. And a lot of people, what we do is we love to scream that we don't have time, or we love to scream that there's not enough time, but you find time for unimportant things. Have you ever found, and be honest with yourself, you don't have to answer in the chat box, you don't, okay, you don't have to out yourself, that's absolutely fine. But have you ever found that you find yourself saying that I don't have enough time, I'm rushing for this, I'm rushing for that, but you still find the time to scroll through Instagram or scroll through TikTok, or you still have the time to just sit there and just stare into thin air and not actually rush around. Or you are on the phone and you rush off the phone because you're in a rush, and then you find yourself not rushing for the next 5 minutes and you're procrastinating. Yeah. It's because of how you're viewing time. And because you view time like there's not enough of it, your brain automatically, yes, it happens to everyone. Your brain, because you have already viewed that you don't have a lot of time, your brain is going to make you do things that make you feel like you're going to have to be in a rush. You know that this 5 minutes you don't have time for. You don't have time to be sitting there and scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram, sitting there looking at the mirror, deeping life, procrastinating, just sitting there and thinking. You don't have time for that. But yet you allow yourself that 5 minutes to waste. And if you was to do that every single day, if you was to do that every single day, let's work it out. If we was to do that every day, okay, let's just say, for example, on average, let's be nice about it. Okay, let's be nice about it. On average, okay, let's just say 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Every single day, the average person wastes 20 minutes just procrastinating, scrolling, doing that. This is me being nice. I know people sit there and scroll for hours. 20 minutes, okay? 20 minutes every day for a whole year. That's 7,300, okay? This is just 20 minutes, okay? Divided by 60. That's 121 hours, okay? Divided by 24. That is 6 days. This is me just being nice. This is me just being nice, okay? This is 6 days that you have wasted, okay? Just sitting there, and that is literally me 20 minutes. I know that it's actually times 5, okay? It's actually times 5. So people do waste on average an hour to 2 hours every single day doing nothing, okay? And those hours, if that was the case, that would be 3 weeks that you're wasting. That would be almost 4 weeks that you're wasting in a year. Those 3 weeks and those 4 weeks that you're wasting in a year where you're sitting there and you're procrastinating, understand that during this 90 days, there's going to be time. There's going to be experiences where you're going to sit there and you're going to have the option to procrastinate, or you're going to have the option to get something done during that time. Please, please, the way you look at time is very, very important. And I think we take time for granted. We don't appreciate time. We don't sit and we don't act like we have time limits. And I don't know if you guys have ever watched that movie, and Justin Timberlake is in it, where it's like they have like time and the currency is time. Such a powerful movie. And they basically, everyone has like this certain amount of time like gifted to them. It's such a good movie. And basically you pay for things with your time. So say, for example, you wanted to get like a burger, that it would cost you 2 days of your time. If you wanted to, I don't know, pay for the gym, it would cost like 6 days of your time every single month or whatever. And it's such a powerful movie because understand that this is actually how the world works. Black Mirror is also really good. But this is actually how the world works. We are paying, I'm not actually sure what the movie is called. During this 90 days, if you're on a 90-day burst, don't watch any movies. I'm not recommending it. I don't recommend movies. I recommend books, okay? But I actually don't know the name of the movie, honestly. I watched it so long ago. But it's a very good movie in terms of how we perceive time and how we view time. And we do take time for granted. We do very much so take time for granted, okay? And if you look at life like that, where everything that you are doing, you are actually paying with your time. If you are reading, you are paying with your time. However, it's an investment into your time and how you're going to experience your future time, okay? If you are, let's say, for example, doom scrolling, okay? If you are doom scrolling, how you use that time, say, for example, that costs you a certain amount of time every single day. Let's say, I don't know how many, on average, people actually scroll for about an hour or 2 hours a day. And that is like 3 to 4 weeks of your time, and that is literally minimum. Some people do it a lot longer. Okay, that time that you have used to spend on things that are irrelevant to what it is that you want to do, that time that you are wasting, that time you're never going to get back. You're never going to get back. And I think the way that we view time, we definitely take it for granted. We take time for granted because everyone has a limited amount of time. We don't know how much time we have, so you don't know how much you're able to get. If I was to tell you, okay, that this is going to be your last 90 days that you're ever going, like, this is morbid, but this is the way that I think. If this was your last 90 days to achieve your goals, to do everything that you needed to do, and to help your reason why this was your last 90 days, there's nothing after this. This was your last 90 days to do everything that you set out on, that your goals, to do everything that you wanted to do, to help your reason why, to help your family, you had 90 days and that's it. How would you move? Would you move differently to what you're already planning? If you see a different version of yourself to what you've already planned you're going to do, then it means you're not even planning to put in 100%. You're not planning to put in 100%, because if you moved like this was your last 90 days and this was it, there's no redos, there's no nothing. This is it. This 90 days, it's all or nothing. This is the one that needs to change my life. There's nothing after this. There's no option after this. It's this or this. You would move a lot different. You would, everyone would. But because we view time and we take time for granted and we don't appreciate our time and we perceive time as if it's unlimited, we don't move with urgency. We don't move like we only have 3 months to get this done. We only have 9 days. And guys might think, well, day 1 of 90, it's a lot of days. It's not a lot of days. If you was told you got 90 days left, the way you would move would be a lot different to what you've already got planned. Let's be real. Let's have a real conversation about it, because this 90 days, it can change your life. It can. It can change your life. It can change your future. It can change the rest of your 2026. Believe me, I have had 90 days where they have changed my life. 2 successful 90 days I've experienced. I've done a lot of 90 days. And 90 days, when you really lock in and you really go crazy and you really just consistency, and you move like an absolute beast for the 90 days, it will change your life. It will change your life. But you have to move like this. There's no do-overs. There's no get-backs. There's no, let me borrow this amount of time and let me waste time over here. There's none of that. You don't get that. You don't get that privilege. Is this 90 days or this 90 days? Stop taking time for granted. Some people, let's talk about it. Some people, this is day 1 of 90. And already you said you was going to do your morning routine. You was going to get up early. You was going to do everything that you said you was going to do on a day 1 of 90. And then miraculously, it hasn't been done. Day 1 of 90. Day 1 of 90. Or you're already trying to find excuses as to why you can't go to the gym. You're already trying to find excuses as to why you can't do this. You've already checked your phone before you were supposed to. You set goals, you set standards, you set expectations for yourself, and you probably already. Now, I'm not speaking to everyone on this call, but I know how people work. Okay, I work with a lot of people. There are some people that have already said that they were going to do something, and we are only 9 hours into the 90 days. Okay, it started at midnight. Okay, 10 hours if you're in Sweden. Sorry, guys. But you know when the cussing from you stops me. But understand this. You have two options. Okay, you have two options. Everyone has two options. You can make the most of this 90 days. You can go to war with yourself. You can go to war with your excuses. You can go to war with the old version of yourself. You can go to war with the current version of you that has been accepting less, that has been taking time for granted, that has not been doing everything that they said. Go to war with that version of you. Go to war. It's going to be tiring. You're going to have to sacrifice time. You're going to have to sacrifice sleep. You're going to have to sacrifice time with everyone. But understand that this 90 days, and if you don't believe me, you're wasting your time. If you don't believe me, you're wasting your time. I have seen 90 days change people's lives. Countless numbers of people. Countless numbers of people. In 2023, September, I started network marketing again. I came in and literally 4 days after I came in, I started a 90-day burst. I started again from scratch. I was out of network marketing for about a year and a half. Okay. I came back in. I started my 90 days. For the first, and I want to give you guys an understanding. For the first, let's say 4 to 6 weeks, if you're like me, I didn't get any sort of results within the first 4 to 6 weeks. The most challenging part is going to be still doing the work, even when you don't see what the work is doing, even when you don't see the results just yet. Have a long-term vision when it comes to this 90 days. Okay. So I done the 90 days, and for the first 4 to 6 weeks, I didn't see nothing. I was waking up every day. I was doing my morning routine. I was meditating. I was reading. I was studying. I was doing all my content. I was doing all my reach outs every day. And this time I was working. Guys, if you remember, I used to work 55 hours a week. So my day looked like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 1 hour of my morning mindset, my morning routine. So in the morning, I would do my gratitudes, my affirmations, my goals, meditation every day. By 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I'm getting ready. 7 o'clock, I'm on my way to work. 7:30, I'm at work and I'm working. From 7:30 to around 2 p.m., I'm working. I'm on the shop floor, not able to go for my phone really. I can take a couple trades here and there, but that's all I could do. 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm on a 1 hour break. During that time, I'm listening to personal development. I'm on a training call. I'm studying some trading strategy. I am studying 1 hour on my break. It wasn't, 1 hour I get to relax and I get to sleep and no, 1 hour of dedicating towards my goals. From 3 o'clock, sometimes I would stay in this store until 7 o'clock. Bearing in mind, that's a whole 12-hour shift. Sometimes I would leave at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever time I left, whatever. If I left at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I would travel from West London to East London. And Josh can back me up on this. If you guys speak to Josh, ask him, no word of a lie. I would travel to Canary Wharf. We would go to Canary Wharf and I would do content. I would do reach outs. I would do content. I would do reach outs. I would go live on TikTok. Okay. Even I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm doing that up until midnight sometimes. I would travel from Canary Wharf back to West London. And I would do it all over again. Sometimes I would call in sick. This was during the 90 days. Sometimes I would call in sick. Sometimes I wouldn't show up to work. Sometimes we even stayed at the office. Now I'm just telling you what my 90 days looked like. I looked at that like that was my 90 days to change my life. It was that or that. We sometimes stayed at the office. There's videos of us leaving this office at 6 o'clock in the morning. Because if we stayed there past a certain time, if we stayed there past 11:30 in the evening, we missed our last train home. And these times we didn't have a lot of money, so getting a cab every day was not an option. From East London to West London, getting a cab, it wasn't. No worries. It wasn't an option. So we would sometimes leave this office at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we would go home. We would sleep on the sofas in the office. Like I've got videos of us sleeping at the office 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, sleeping in the office. Okay. And we would go from 6 o'clock, like we would head home because that's when the first train was again, like working. So from 6 o'clock, we're heading home, 7 o'clock home time. I would sleep from 7 to like midday and then wake up. I would call in sick. I wouldn't even show up to work half the time. I literally had so many warnings about my attendance during this 90 days. And yes, of course, I don't recommend like lack of sleep. I don't recommend any of that. I'm just sharing my experience of how bad I actually wanted it. Like how bad I actually wanted this. I was willing to sacrifice everything and anything. So from midday, we was working again. You'd get up and we'd do it all over again. Okay. And it wasn't every day like this. Of course, there were some days where I didn't go to the office. I would come back home, I would work and I would go sleep. Just like Missy said, of course, sleep deprivation is actually like it's a thing. And I definitely don't recommend it. There was some day I'm sharing my 90 days. During the 90 days that I had, there was some days where I'd done 4 hours and 5 hours. And honestly, I don't regret it. I don't regret having 5 hours sleep. I don't regret it at all because something happened. After 4 weeks of consistency, after 5 weeks of consistency, I had my first breakthrough. I literally, like, I went from zero to absolute breakthrough. I went viral and it went crazy viral. And I'm not saying this because of gloating or anything like that. I'm saying this because I was consistent. I was willing to sacrifice. I was willing to do the things that was necessary for me to get to where I needed to go. During this 90 days, it's going to be you against you. It's going to be you against you. It's going to be you're going to war with yourself. Like during that 90 days, I was so ready for anything and everything that I needed to do to get it done. So I did it. After 4 weeks of consistency, we had our breakthrough and went absolutely viral, and all of our businesses changed. All of our businesses changed. Everyone that was doing the 90 days with us, around the 4 to 6 week mark, we got our breakthrough. I was able to quit my full-time job after 6 weeks of being consistent in the 90 days. 6 weeks of being consistent in the 90 days, I was able to quit my full-time job. And then the rest of the 90 days, I was able to actually have the time to be at home, to be in the office and not have work as well. Because I went absolute savage mode. And I'm saying this to say, guys, a 90 days can change your life. It changed my life. 90 days changed my life. And there's going to be days where you're going to wake up, you're going to feel tired. There's going to be days where you're going to wake up and you feel like you don't want to do it. There's going to be days where you're going to wake up and you feel like, I can't be asked today. Please go to war with yourself and fight yourself, because how you look at time is how you look at everything. And this next 90 days, if you just go crazy, you don't accept any sort of excuses, you do what you need to do, you sacrifice what you need to sacrifice, and you just get the work done and you do the work you do. Just have your daily MOs out. Have your daily MOs out. Know what it is that you need to do every single day, your non-negotiables. And do it every day, no excuses. If your non-negotiables are 3 TikToks and 2 Reels, you don't go to sleep until it is done. Earn your sleep. I don't push that mindset anymore. I used to be the person to push that mindset. I don't push that mindset, but during this 90 days, we're pushing that mindset. Earn your sleep. You can't sit there and you can't scroll through TikTok and you can't do all of those things and you haven't reached out to people, you haven't finished your TikToks, you haven't done your reels. Earn your sleep. This next 90 days can change your life, and it's going to create so many success stories. And the only reason why it's not going to be you is if you don't take it seriously. If you allow your old self to creep up and make up the excuses that you've been making up all of this time, there is no reason by the end of this 90 days, you cannot be full-time. There's no reason. I'm genuinely, at the beginning of that 90 days, guys, I didn't have 100% belief. I didn't know what this 90 days was going to do. I just knew I was willing to do everything and anything it took. I didn't know that I was going to quit my job. I didn't believe that I was even going to be a full-timer. You know, I worked for before I left network marketing, I was working for 2 years without a breakthrough. 2 years without a breakthrough. Who was I to come back in and think I could go full-time in 6 weeks? My belief system was on the floor. I didn't know that I would be able to go full-time within 6 weeks after I'd worked 2 years to try and go full-time. My belief system was on the floor, and I came in and I'd done the work anyway. And the more that I'd done the work, the more that I seen other people doing the work and getting results from the work. And I was so inspired. And I said, if it can happen for this person, it can happen for me. If it can happen for me, nothing has changed since then. It can happen for you. I genuinely, if it can happen for me, it can happen for any single one. I am no different to any of you. I am no different. When I first started out coming back into the industry, I was like every single one of you. You guys are probably more skilled than I was coming back into it. I just had a hunger that I was tired of my situation. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to answer to a manager. I didn't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to a place and run around and do all of these things that wasn't contributing towards my goals. I didn't want to do that. So I said this or this. It's this 90 days or this 90 days. I'm going to war with myself. I'm going to war with my excuses. I'm not going to procrastinate. Every time I do catch myself procrastinating, I'm cutting it off. Every time I do catch my old self creeping in, I'm cutting it off. Every time I do find my old self distracting me or throwing me off guard or giving me excuses or telling me why I can't do it, we're going to war. Go to war. This 90 days is serious. You are going to war with poverty. You are going to war with your debts. You are going to war with your old version of yourself. You're going to war with every single thing that you no longer want in your reality. You can be one person of two people. You could be the person that treats this like this is your last 90 days and it's this 90 days or this 90 days. And by no means necessary, I am getting it done and I'm going to be a full-timer at the end of this 90 days. I'm going to achieve whatever it is I want to do at the end of this 90 days, this or this. Or you can be the person that relaxes, that doesn't do anything because they don't believe. I moved even when I didn't believe. You don't have to believe that you're going to be a full-timer at the end of this 90 days. You don't have to believe that you're going to hit whatever goal it is that you've set out at the end of this 90 days. You don't have to believe that. Just do the work anyway. I didn't believe in the beginning. But then I started seeing this person have a breakthrough. I started seeing this person go viral. I started seeing this person hit their targets. I started seeing this. And I was like, it can be me. It can be me. If it can be them, it can be me. And it can be you. I've just gone on a rant. I haven't even looked at my notes in the last 20 minutes. But understand this, guys. It can change your life. But it's how you perceive it. It's how you perceive it. Allow yourself to be fully present in the moment. Allow yourself to be fully present in the moment. You find yourself getting stressed out. You find yourself getting overwhelmed. You find yourself being overstimulated. You find yourself being stressed out. And I remember how I felt during my 90 days. And there was times where I felt disheartened. There was times where I felt like I wasn't doing good enough because I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. There's going to be times like that during this next 90 days. There is. I'm not going to paint it like it's going to be sunshine and rainbows and we're going to get everything done and it's going to be so easy and yeah, you go to war with yourself. It's going to be challenging. That's why it is 90 days of challenge. 90 days of going to war with yourself. It's not going to be easy. There are going to be days where you're stressed out. There are going to be days where you feel disheartened. There are going to be days where you feel like you're doing all of this work and you haven't got a breakthrough and you haven't got a result. I've been there. I've done the work anyway. Regardless of how I felt, regardless of the limiting beliefs, regardless of everything being thrown at me, regardless of challenges that I experienced, regardless of family things that kept popping up, regardless of all of these things, I still did it. I still did it. All you have to do is do your non-negotiables every single day. If you don't have your non-negotiables, if you don't have a goal set for yourself for this next 90 days, set out a goal. Set out a goal, have your non-negotiables, 5 non-negotiables that you have to do every single day. You have to do, without a doubt, every single day, your non-negotiables, and do it every single day. Every day. Don't go to sleep until it is done. And genuinely, this 90 days can change your life. It can change your life. It can change the trajectory of everything. And I know, I've seen it. I've seen it like countless of times. I know if you go crazy, there is no reason at all in the slightest. There's no reason that you can't be exactly where it is that you want to be by the end of the 90. You just got to do the work. You just have to do the work. I'm not even asking you to believe. I'm not asking you to believe in yourself. Just do it. Even when you don't believe, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel disheartened, even when you don't see the results, even when you're not seeing anything come to fruition, just do it. 90 days. Just promise yourself and make a promise to yourself that I'm going to do the work even if I don't see the results. I'm going to do the work even when I don't feel like it. I'm going to do the work. Exactly. Your belief is going to come by doing the actions. It comes by doing the actions. There's going to be times where you expected results by a certain period of time. It is like on the surface. It is on the surface. This 90 days, things are not going to happen how you plan, but as long as you still do the work, it's going to be so much better than you planned. Genuinely, wholeheartedly. So with that being said, I went on a rant. I didn't even finish what it is that I wanted to say, but how you perceive time is everything, all in all, basically. So with that being said, guys, I hope and I pray that this next 90 days is one that changes you guys' lives forever. It sets the tone for your entrepreneurship journey. It sets the tone for your futures. It sets the tone for what's possible for you. It changes every single one of you lot's lives. And I really hope and pray that God guides you. He will protect you and he'll walk through this journey with you. Do not do it alone. You've always got help. If you need anything from anyone, please reach out to your upline, to your mentor. So if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling these things, please just go to your enroller. They're going to be able to help you out. They're going to be able to walk you through this process. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. So I hope and pray this next 90 days changes every single one of our lives. I genuinely hope and pray that it gives you the strength, the courage to become the version of you that you have been destined to be, that God has placed you to be. And I know that there's going to be so many success stories that come from this, and I'm really excited to see them. So with that being said, absolutely appreciate every single one of you that jumps on these calls. Have an amazing day. Do everything that you said you was going to do. Go crazy, go to war with yourself, get the things done. And with that being said, we will see each other Thursday, 8 a.m. Take care, guys. Stay blessed.